So I grew up in Jefferson, Wisconsin, and there's a huge festival there called Gemütlichkeit.
Sure.
Do you know what that means?
I do.
What does it mean?
It means community and conviviality and joy and sort of just like the togetherness of being at the same table.
So fun.
It's all about having a good time, right? So, and that's like something beautifully German, right? This sort of beer garden culture where you show up to a table with a bunch of strangers and then you leave as friends.
Farmers, brewers, hunters, packers, badgers, cheeseheads, neighbors. No matter what name we go by, we are bound together by our roots. These are the people, the stories, and the patriotism from inside Wisconsin. Welcome to Deeper Roots with Blain's Farm and Fleet.
I'm home. This is amazing. This is where I'm meant to be. This is Kegel's Inn. That's Julian. 100 years of this. First off, thank you.
Our pleasure. Yeah, thanks for having us on the show.
There's a lot to cover today. 100 years worth, give or take.
Yep.
Let's start at the beginning. This is a family business, and it has been since 1924.
Correct. Yeah. December 5th, my great-grandpa applies for his permit through the city of West Allis. And what's going on during that time in 1924? Yeah, beer is illegal.
None of that.
Prohibition's raging. And so he licenses it as a soda pop parlor, in quotations.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So they built a small little bar down in the basement. They're brewing beer. So this was like headquarters for Prohibition in West Allis, right?
For everyone.
For everyone, yeah. For the cops, the mayors, the local community. Everybody knew, like on brew day, you came to Kegel's Inn the next day.
How did they get busted?
Well, that wasn't for 3 more years, right? So
good run.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run.
And then
1927, May 1st, my grandma is serving booze to customers. And like a local guy, a local buddy of John Kegel, my great grandpa, he comes in and he's like, "Hey John, I just bought a new car. Why don't you come take a look at it?" So John goes outside. Anna, my grandma, is totally out of the blue, caught by surprise as all of these enforcement agents come in and find in her moo-moo all these sewn-in pockets full of booze.
Outstanding.
Super great. So it's like documented that Kegel's Inn might not have survived.
But
right?
This is in the speakeasy, which is downstairs.
No, this was up here. The whole place was the speakeasy.
Woo.
Yeah, which is why we've got these beautiful stained glass windows.
I was gonna say, wasn't that frowned upon then?
Yeah, but you couldn't see what was going on inside.
Okay. But it wasn't Kegel's Inn back then. It
Correct.
was
Kegel's Place. So John Kegel's Place, right? And that existed until basically the end of Prohibition. But here's the beauty. So 1927, my grandma gets the ticket. They get smart, they get wise, they hire a lawyer. That lawyer tells them that there's whispers in legislation that Wisconsin's gonna be the first state to repeal Prohibition, okay?
Cheers.
Cheers to that, right? So that actually happens. In 1928, the lawsuit gets dropped because Wisconsin becomes the first to decriminalize Prohibition. And it goes at a state level, right? So even though federally it was still masked as Prohibition, Wisconsin was game on.
Wisconsin was the first state to decriminalize
Correct.
alcohol sales.
Yes.
Today days old,
Yeah.
but not surprised.
Yeah. Well, how much business was being done with all the breweries with Schlitz, Pabst, Brats, right? Like these places were pumping out millions of barrels and then all of a sudden were squashed to nothing. So they had to put a lot of pressure on legislation to get their business back.
The murals in here are incredible, and I read that they took 7 years, inside and outside. Is that true?
That's true, yes.
This was a gentleman that your family knew?
Yes, Peter Grice. His paperwork shows that he's from Darmstadt and became friends with my great-grandpa. From 1933, when he first started, to 1940, that 7-year period, what else was going on in worldwide politics?
War.
Being German was not very popular, right? So actually great-grandma had him redo some of the more German sayings and some of the inscriptions on the wall to make it look like we were more aligned with the Allies.
Wow.
Right?
The things you have to think of
Yeah,
to
totally.
keep a business going that just happens to be connected to the German heritage.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with these murals, I'm just starting to realize as we sit here, including monkeys playing cards and cheating. They're cheating.
They are cheating.
What is happening?
When men drink copious amounts of beer, they turn into monkeys, and that's the moniker.
Really?
Essentially, yeah. So there's like a whole transition at the door. Basically, a guy in the moonlight sort of traipsing away from the restaurant, and he turns into the monkey by the time he gets home.
And you took 22 members of your staff and
Yeah.
a couple really good customers over to Germany here just a month ago to celebrate Oktoberfest and your 100th.
Well, we're turning 100, so let's do it big. And we've been schlepping being German in this little sort of microcosm to our staff for 10 years. Now let's go show them why we do it, and what happens in Germany is actually really authentic to what we do here.
So the business model, though, has changed massively.
For sure.
What do you got cooking upstairs, too?
So we actually converted the whole upstairs to Airbnbs.
How many are up there?
There's 6.
There's 6 Airbnbs. How's that going?
It's great, I mean, especially because when people come to town, we're super close to American Family Field, so it's walkable, and they can pregame here, have some beers, walk to the park, have a great baseball game, come back, watch the live music for the end of the night, go upstairs and sleep in this like super antique hotel.
What are you known for?
We're definitely known as a beer hall. We're definitely known for our high quality scratch made food. So German specialties. Sauerbraten, ever heard of that?
No, but are we gonna try that, maybe?
We could, yeah. It's like a big sirloin that we age in red wine vinegar, and then it's brewed with a ginger snap gravy, right?
I never leave it.
Yeah, totally.
This is incredible.
So
and you make a mean pretzel.
We do, of course. We sell hundreds and hundreds of pretzels a week.
Do you do that here?
Thank God, no.
Oh, you don't?
Yes. Milwaukee Pretzel Company is one of our big partners. They studied in Bavaria. They brought German pretzels to Milwaukee, and they crush it. Our pork shanks are like big shoulder hocks. Then we've got our roasted boneless duck. So we take all the bones out, make it super easy to eat, serve it over homemade dressing and scratch gravy with cranberry sauce. It's like Thanksgiving,
Can
but
you hear
better.
my stomach?
Yeah.
Literally, it's like speaking to me. There is just so much nostalgia in here. It's one of those places where we could sit and talk and view for hours, literally hours.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we just go now. I think we just kind of check out, including this beer garden, which you talked about.
Absolutely.
Live music and all those things. Can I move in upstairs?
Yeah, it's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no
figure
problem.
that.
Yeah, deal.
We are now in the beer garden, and I'm never leaving. This is unbelievable. So, your lovely bride, Stephanie, who's in charge of all things meals and food here at Kegel's Inn, made us a spread in the beer garden. But before we dive in, which is about 7 seconds from right now for me, tell us about what you did out here, because this changed the 100 years of Kegel's Inn into something completely different.
2018, we threw a couple parties in the street, so we had to get neighbor permission to like close the road for a couple hours. And then the mayor was here and he's like, man, this just feels so good to have this street be closed. Being between two 100-year-old buildings, having the space for a beer garden just sort of felt right. So we tried it for a full summer, and then it was such a success that we kind of petitioned the city to keep it going. So now we own the street. The city granted it to us for us long term, and we were coming up on 100 years now, so we're gonna tent this thing for the whole winter. We're gonna heat it, we're gonna put bands. We brewed a bunch of Centennial beer with our partners at local breweries. So we're gonna have a Doppelbock release for our birthday party, which ends up being Repeal Day too. So on December 5th, 1933, Prohibition is repealed. That's when we're having our party here.
So you have worked really, really hard, Julian, to keep the family tradition, if you will, alive. What are you going to do to make sure that you stay true to that here for the next 100 years?
Ultimately, we have to remember that people come here for community, for great food, and a great atmosphere.
How do you compare that to who we are as a state? What is it about Wisconsin that makes that work?
Wisconsin in general has just this heartbeat of Gemütlichkeit, right? You used it before. It's this conviviality, it's about having fun, it's about meeting strangers and being nice, this Midwest nice that everybody sort of like wants to be involved with. I think the beer garden is a perfect representation of how we are as a people in Wisconsin.
You've shown us around the restaurant. You told us all the hidden secrets of the history. There's a large amount of food in front of me. I'm not a small mammal. Cheers, I'm diving in. Thanks for having us out. We are going to hammer this food, and this is ridiculous. This is the giant pretzel. It's about to be gone.
I believe it.
So over there, they carry like 10 of these at one time.
Yeah, you want to practice?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good for your business model. Do you speak German?
A little bit. Yeah.
Prost.
Prost. Yeah, we're getting there.
What's a beer called?
Ein Bier.
That's how they say it? Beer?
Yeah.
Oh, it's B-I-E-R.
Yeah, it's beer. Yeah, exactly.
You know what the bad news is? That right there is going to make the show. That sucks. How are you staying true to your family legacy? What are you doing to make sure... I can't. There's a friggin' bee and I'm losing it. I am... Get out of here.
Well, what else do you say after an episode like that, other than Prost, right? Man, those beers were tall and good. Another outstanding episode of the Blain's Farm and Fleet Deeper Roots. Never cease to be inspired by these deep-rooted family stories. This was another great one. Man, lots of German heritage. All right, sending our thanks to Julian, Kegel, and the entire Kegel family for keeping the Inn's 100-year legacy alive. And most importantly, those authentic family recipes. I can speak from experience, super good, super full after that one. Speaking of 100 years, they're throwing 100 parties to celebrate, because of course they are. So check the schedule online, kegelsin100.com. Come eat, come drink, and be merry. Even plan to stay at one of their upper Airbnb units above the restaurant and bar. Pretty cool. Maybe you enjoyed the episode and have a deep-rooted story of your own to share with us. Make sure to head to the website, fill out the form, farmandfleet.com/deeperroots. We love hearing from you guys and sharing all of these stories. If you're watching on YouTube, remember, like, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're listening, go ahead and leave a 5-star review on the particular app that you are catching this podcast on. All right, that's it for now. Auf Wiedersehen? I don't know. See you next time.
Talk to you later. Bye.